What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Independent Experience. I'm Indy XP, and we're coming to you again this morning, Thursday, April 9th, 2020. It is 7:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check local listings. The sun is out, which is a far cry better than what we had last night because we had hella storms roll through. Blew down a tree in my front yard. We had a lot of hail, had a lot of buildings down, flooding. It was a crazy night, but it is glorious this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the markets and see where we're going to be starting this glorious day off at. Gold is up nicely, currently at $1679.99. Silver is up somewhat at $1536, giving us a ratio of 109.40. Platinum is held pretty steady overnight. It's currently at $743.68. And palladium saw a little bit of a bump. It's currently at $2245.20. In other metals markets, rhodium took a pretty nasty hit yesterday. It's currently at $5,750. Copper is down slightly, currently at $2.25, and aluminum is also down, currently at 64 cents a pound. Barrels of crude oil are holding fairly steady. It is up a little bit. It's currently at $25.78 a barrel. The Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 had another great day yesterday. The Dow Jones closed up 779 points to close out the day at 23,433.57. The NASDAQ closed up 203 points at 8,090.90, and the S&P 500 closed up 90 points at 2749.98. For those of you in the Bitcoin market, it had a pretty steady day yesterday. It's currently at 72.9727, and if you happen to trade in the gold back, the conversion rate today is $2.93. I want to talk about an article that I read at Kitco News. This is the new opportunity for silver demand to see a shakeup after COVID-19 outbreak. This is written by Anna Golubova. This appeared yesterday afternoon over at Kitco News. After the COVID-19 outbreak peaks, countries around the world will begin efforts to restart their economies, and silver will greatly benefit from these actions as it embraces a new position in the commodities world, an infrastructure precious metal, according to BMO. Silver has been lagging behind gold, with the gold-silver ratio last at 110, according to spot price data at Kitco.com. This means that it will take 111 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. We all know that. At the time of this writing, May COMEX silver futures were trading at 1522, or down 1.68% on the day. Remember, this was yesterday, Wednesday the 8th. And with gold being the star precious metal in Q1 and maybe even Q2 this year, silver investors are wondering, when will it be silver's turn to shine? Some good news for these investors comes from Colin Hamilton, head of commodities research at BMO Capital Markets, who sees a new role for silver in the decade to come, which will shake up demand. While gold naturally gets most of the attention in the macro environment of aggressive monetary support, we feel that there's an opportunity emerging for silver. As governments seek to further bolster economic recovery, we anticipate silver-intensive areas such as 5G and solar technology could well benefit from any fiscal impulse, making silver increasingly the infrastructure precious metal, Hamilton wrote in his report Tuesday. One thing of note is, I've said this for the last year, is with solar panels especially, the demand for silver, because of what being the primary metal used in solar panels, that alone is going to make the demand, the physical demand, increase exponentially. Silver has always been thought to be as having a substantial industrial component to it, which has lately been dragging the price down. But new infrastructure role could significantly change the supply-demand dynamics. Silver's physical demand outlook will witness a shakeup as new technologies come to the forefront, Hamilton said. traditionally considered an industrial precious metal with applications as a conductive and soldering element within electronics, but also as a brazing alloy. We believe silver's use in 5G and photovoltaic, PV for short, related technology will increasingly position it as an infrastructure commodity. More demand is in the cards for silver, noted Hamilton, citing additional stimulus measures. Globally, fiscal stimulus measures are set to bring forward shifting demand-side gains, as new and growing source of demand growth for silver is likely to emerge earlier than expected in the current environment, as the economic fallout from COVID-19 across major emerging and industrialized markets prompt governments to implement unprecedented fiscal stimulus measures to revive activity, he said, in an incredibly long sentence. China will play a role in the increased demand, especially when it comes to 5G and other infrastructure advances. Silver's infrastructure consumption is set to record the fastest demand growth of all of its high-end users in the coming decade. The rise of 5G and continued growth across PVs will provide a high growth source of new end-use potential for silver. The article goes on it says BMO forecasts a shift into deficit for silver as demand for PV, 5G, and physical investment sectors rise. This uptick is also said to offset any declines in the consumer, industrial, and photography-related demand. On the supply side, there will be disruption risks, Hamilton added. When observing the supply side, Mexico and Peru stand out as the clear winners from an improving demand pull for silver. As of 2020, BMO estimates that both countries combined account for 40% of the global silver output, not including scrap, making it relatively concentrated market. He noted this year looks a particularly vulnerable one in this regard, as COVID-19 shuts down producer countries, including Mexico and Peru, are set to remain in place to some degree, at least during April. Again, that article was brought to us by Anna Golubova from Kitco News. Interesting read. I think it, kind of harps on what we've been saying for a while here at the Independent Experience, is that the demand for solar panels will rise very soon. As soon as the coronavirus is gone, we can expect that demand to really pick back up as those solar panel producers get back into it. So let me know down in the comments what you guys happen to think. If you guys happen to be new to the Independent Experience, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe and jingle bell right there in the corner, bing bong, so you can be notified of when new content is coming out. I'm going to put our last video, yesterday's video, right here on a card, so you can check that out if you want to check out some older content. I've been Indy XP from the Independent Experience, and I'm here once again to remind you, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find your pockets heavy.